I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. In one of the most stunning reversals in the modern era of the Supreme Court, a majority of the court overturned a nearly 50-year precedent in Roe v. Wade Friday. This gave states the license to ban abortion, issuing a ruling in line with the draft opinion leaked in early May by Politico. It also paves the way for abortion to be largely outlawed in likely half of states. Democrats have widely denounced the move, describing it as, quote, devastating. Listen in to hear Democratic leaders and lawmakers react to the news.
This decision will cost lives. Overturning Roe doesn't mean there won't be abortions. It just means that in many states, those abortions won't be safe. It's also a stark reminder in this shameful decision that we must be involved, we must be active, protect all those other rights that we consider so important. Equal access to a marriage, equal access to birth control, and many more. The time is now to act.
Hi, it's Representative Rick Larson with a special message. It's about 10:20 here on the East Coast in Washington, D.C., and the Supreme Court just came out with an unfortunate majority opinion overturning Roe v. Wade. I know that this decision will be upsetting to all of you and personally upsetting to many of you. I think this decision is wrong-headed. I think it's dangerous. I don't think we need to be rolling back hard-earned rights, and I think fighting to get those hard-earned rights back, the fight for that starts now. So I want to let you know that I continue to have a strong pro-choice record, and I will do all I can to protect a woman's right to choose, to protect access to abortion services, and to reproductive health care, no matter where that occurs here in the United States. We've got a long road ahead of us to earn this right back, but I'll stay committed to that fight. Sorry, this is not great news, but I want to get this message out as soon as I could to all of you. Thanks.
For the first time in my life, the Supreme Court has rolled back a fundamental individual right, and a majority of Americans are angry. We're angry because we know that women should control decisions about their own bodies and their own lives. Abortion is going to remain safe and legal in Massachusetts, and the Commonwealth is stepping up to be a safe haven for women who are in healthcare deserts. At the federal level, we are also working to protect access to abortion medication. But what we really need is for the Senate to step up and follow the House's lead in making Roe the law of the land.
This is a terrifying day, because it's not just the end of the federal right for women to be able to control their bodies. It is very likely the end of people having personal freedom over their bodies. Whether or not they can marry who they want to marry, whether they can educate their kids the way they want. Something that we have taken for granted for so long under our Constitution, unenumerated rights are now all on the chopping block. So if you don't care about abortion, just think personal freedom, because all of that is up for grabs now. This is a sad day in America. And, you know, when people start talking about taking their country back, they must have been talking about this day, as far as I'm concerned, because this is that moment.
Women and families and people around this country are terrified. We have seen some of the most extreme language in legislation being passed in states around the country, things that go far beyond anything the American public would ever accept. We are a country that believes in a woman's right to choose. I'm really proud I come from a state where I was part of the state legislature back in 1993 when we codified Roe versus Wade, and we put that into our law. And we have a very strong governor and a legislature right now that's going to protect that. But we need federal law. We need federal passage of legislation that will protect everyone. And frankly, we need a Supreme Court that will protect our rights. I was really proud to stand up for the Women's Protection Act. Every Republican voted against it. But those are the kinds of laws that we need to make sure that whatever state you live in, your rights will be protected.
It doesn't matter if we saw this coming. It's still a shock. A fundamental freedom in America has been taken away. In Colorado, I'm proud to say we're taking a better path. We've already protected reproductive freedoms in state law. We stand up for individual liberties. But some extremists have another idea: criminalizing all abortions without exception. This is the choice we face in this election. As your governor, I will always fight to protect your right to choose.
Folks, our worst fears have been confirmed. The Supreme Court has stripped the right to choose from millions of Americans. It's now up to the states to protect access to abortion. I've already vetoed 9 extreme Republican bills. As long as I'm governor, I will do everything in my power to protect reproductive health care. It's just the right thing to do. Going forward, we'll need all the support we can get. Can you join my team in this fight to protect choice? Text CHOICE to 73107.
Today, the United States Supreme Court, the seat of justice charged with protecting our liberties, struck down reproductive rights. In 1973, the Supreme Court's decision in Roe v. Wade safeguarded the right to choose for millions of women across Georgia and around our nation. Rather than uphold the wisdom of nearly 50 years, women today lost the right to make our own healthcare decisions and the right to shape our own futures. As a woman, I am appalled. As a Georgian, I am enraged. As an American, I am disgusted by this abdication of all we hold dear. We are better people than this, and we deserve to have our freedoms protected, not stripped away. As of today, the threats to our right to choose are no longer theory. It is a fact that in Georgia, forced pregnancy is now the law of the state. The draconian abortion ban signed into law by the current governor in 2019 makes it a crime to seek an abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Soon, Georgia women will lose their right to choose before most even know they're pregnant because of this governor's callous decision to put his politics above women's healthcare needs. The overturning of Roe is the direct result of decades of strategy to strip women of access to reproductive health care and full autonomy over our bodies. This is an attack on all women and families. It's an attack on LGBTQ+ Americans, and it is especially dangerous for people of color and low-income communities. We know the reversal of Roe returns our country to the sinister practice that allows the quality of citizenship to be based on state lines, not based on the inherent rights embedded in the Constitution. This decision will not stop abortions. Instead, it will prevent access to safe abortions. It will create stigma and exacerbate crises in our state. It will block women from seeking medical advice and stop doctors from providing life-saving care. As a legislator and as a Georgian, I have fought for reproductive justice. I defeated a bill to inject racial division into medical decisions. I challenged bills that banned insurance coverage for abortion. I battled those who sought to limit a woman's right to control her body, including the 6-week ban that will govern the lives of Georgians. Now the laws of Georgia will further increase maternal mortality rates and incarcerate doctors for up to 10 years, and this is wrong. As your next governor, I will continue to defend a woman's right to choose and to protect the rights of all. What has been done with this law is an assault on our liberties, and we will fight back. As Georgia's governor, I will work every day to ensure access to affordable and safe health care for all, including access to abortion. This will not be easy, but we're not alone. We stand together, women, advocates, reproductive justice activists, the LGBTQ+ community, healthcare providers, allies, and all in our state who will not be still or silent when we are under attack. We will continue to fight for safe access to reproductive healthcare, the healthcare we need and deserve. And we will vote with our full power and our righteous might, and we will make Georgia safe for women. In the days ahead, remember that we are not alone. Believe in our ability to protect one another. Lean into our capacity to defend our rights in the streets and at the ballot box. Lift up our resolution to save our freedoms by deciding our own fates. And know that together, if we unite, good will be won.
Knowing that this day was coming doesn't dull the pain. I am heartbroken and I'm angry. Republican extremists have plotted for decades to install partisan judges at every level of the judicial system with the goal of ending women's fundamental freedom to choose our own health care. But we still have a choice. At the ballot this November, Governors are now the final line of defense to protect access to safe and legal abortion, and it's never been more urgent to vote for pro-choice champions at the state level. As governor, I will use my veto pen to block any legislation that compromises the right to choose, and I will do everything in my power to secure women's rights for the next generation.
The consequences will be swift and tragic for so many women across America. Tomorrow, daughters will be waking up with less rights than their mothers. With Roe gone, Mitch McConnell will do everything in his power to pass a national abortion ban. Extremists could make abortion illegal without exceptions, and even charge women and doctors with a crime. And my opponent, Adam Laxalt, he'll be an automatic vote for a national ban if he wins in November. Why doesn't Adam? And why doesn't Mitch? Why don't they trust women? I do. Women can make this decision for themselves. And I will never stop fighting to protect a woman's right to make her own healthcare decisions.
The Supreme Court has overruled Roe versus Wade. This is devastating to women across this country, but nowhere more so than in the state of Texas, whose trigger law will go into effect 30 days from today, meaning that abortion will be illegal in the state of Texas with no exception for rape or incest. Now, we have to focus on the way in which we are going to overcome this and ensure that every Texas woman can make her own decisions about her own body, her own health care, and her own future. The only way to do this is to win political power. We must win on the night of November 8th. I need you right now in this race with us. We've got to make sure that we reach every single voter across the state of Texas and ensure that they understand what's on the line. It's a woman's right to choose, and it's the very lives of Texas women, a state that leads much of the developed world in the rate of maternal mortality, 3 times as deadly for Black women in the state of Texas. We have got to win, and we need you with us, and we need you now.
Well, we've just heard the news. The U.S. Supreme Court has issued its decision in the Dobbs case. It doesn't look good for now. We'll be looking at the case in detail, but for now, I want to make sure people understand that as long as I am the governor of the state of Maine, we will protect a woman's right to choose, and a woman's right to health care, and that includes safe and legal abortion. I disagree with the majority of the U.S. Supreme Court, and I believe that a woman's right to health care is not dispensable. Women's rights are no longer dispensable, and they will remain protected in Maine state law as long as I'm the governor of the state of Maine.